Hey, what is going on guys? This is Vinith and you're watching VDiaries. In this video we're going to put the cameras on the MiA2 through a series of assessments. Since it was the most anticipated camera centric phone by Xiaomi, let's see if it really has in it what's said on the paper. Before we go any further, let's do the rituals. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe, click the bell to get notified about some amazing tech and cool travel content that I upload on this channel. And if you like this video, or if this video helps you in any way, then don't forget to drop a like. Being a successor to MiA1, which was the most loved phone in its time, people have a lot of expectations from MiA2. Xiaomi on the other hand has played a gamble of pushing MiA2 with less features than Redmi Note 5 Pro, like no SD card support and no 3.5mm headphone jack and even 1000 mAh less battery, and they have been selling the MiA2 for 2000 higher than the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Plus the Poco phone around the corner with some specced out hardware like Snapdragon 845, and it is selling for just 4000 more than MiA2. So you'll ask, what are the logical improvements the company has made over the Redmi Note 5 Pro? Now first, it's a new mid-range CPU from Qualcomm, that is Snapdragon 660 and Adreno 512 GPU. It is said to have AI level flagship features in it. To test that, I will put this phone through a gaming review, so expect a dope video soon. And second improvement is its camera. Oh wait, the AI camera. Now why is everyone buzzing around the artificial intelligence nowadays? Okay, let's keep that for a separate talk. But yes, the AI camera, and to bring it to reality, we have a dual camera setup at the rear side of the MiA2, out of which the primary camera is Sony IMX486 12 megapixel sensor with f1.7 aperture, and it has 1.25 micron pixel size. It is coupled with the secondary lens, which is Sony's IMX376 20 megapixel sensor that has the same f1.7 aperture, and it has 2 micron pixel size. Having a wider aperture means improved low light photography, plus the secondary sensor is a dedicated low light sensor which is automatically used when you shoot in low light. Plus you have a facility to use either of the lenses when you shoot in manual mode, which is terrific. You can shoot auto HDR images from this setup. Spoiler alert, which works really well in most of the situations, that helps you capture as much information as possible. These sensors use 4-in-1 pixel binning techniques, which groups 4 pixel values and combines them into 1 pixel either by averaging, adding or ignoring the values. So this results into faster frame rates and at the same time removing the junk pixels or noise from the photo that gives you overall better quality and sharper images. These dual lenses comes with single tone dual LED flash, and both these lenses uses phase detection autofocus for focusing. This setup comes with electronic image stabilization, and you can shoot 4K at 30 fps, 1080p at 30 fps, and with recent update there is an option to shoot 1080p at 60 fps. But the EIS or the electronic image stabilization is present only at 1080p, and it is not available for 4K video, which is sad keeping in mind the amount of money you are spending, where the camera is the phone's USP. Going to the front, where you get Sony's IMX376 20 megapixel sensor that comes with larger 2 micron pixel size, and it has f2.2 aperture. It doesn't have electronic stabilization for the front facing camera, but you do get a dedicated selfie flash, and you can shoot HDR and portrait images as well. It also uses 4-in-1 pixel binning technology, plus it has AI powered semantic stabilization and AI powered beautified 4.0 to basically make you look good. And this could be a game changer in case you want to step up your selfie game and grow your Insta fam. Alright, moving to its camera application, which we have seen in recent Xiaomi phones, where apart from the normal photos and videos, you can shoot variety of options like square photo, panorama, slow-mo, time-lapse and manual mode too. A surprisingly good factor about the manual mode is you can tweak almost every possible option like focus, shutter speed, white balance and ISO, which is kind of nice to have if you're into it. Now let's start the camera samples. Note that I have clicked all these images in auto mode with auto HDR turned on. In case I have shot a photo with a different setting that I'll mention on the left top corner of your screen, so keep an eye for that. The weather has been rainy and the sky was overcast in my city in last 2 weeks, but the photos in daylight conditions came out really well even in uneven lightings. As mentioned, the Auto HDR helps in capturing some sharp and detailed images. The color temperature is on the cooler side, but that is something subjective. The images look bit oversaturated in some occasions, but nothing too crazy about. The exposure adjustment is terrific, and I love the way it keeps the details even in the shadows by lighting the areas properly. Now thanks to HDR mode again. Dynamic color range is good for the phone at this price, and the skin tones are close to natural. And coming to the shooting humans, you'll probably end up using the portrait mode, which gives you some crisp photos. The differentiation between the foreground and background subject is perfect, and it's not only the case with the human but non-human objects as well. Even without the portrait mode, the close-up and micro shots are crisp, and the natural bokeh you get is due to its wider f1.75 aperture. With manual mode, you can play with some attributes and can shoot light trails like this. Also, from the camera settings, you can boost up the contrast and saturation to make the photos look more colorful than they actually are. As the sun sets, the low light sensor brings out the details in such scenarios. At times it brings noise into the images by boosting the ISO, but by playing with the tap to focus and some brightness settings present on screen itself, you can get some decent snaps. I have been sharing some samples on my Instagram and Twitter accounts lately, so if you are not following me over there, then there are links in the video show notes. Moving to the video department, the electronic image stabilization works really well at 1080p. You get a smooth footage out of the camera. The details and the sharpness is commendable. The EIS do bring some jitter in the images, but if you are not moving your phone too much, then that won't be an issue for you. The EIS do fail to bring smoothness in case of 4K videos. The videos are sharp, but yeah, you need to settle with those shakes. And if you're looking for a high-res video, then this can come handy, like shooting a scene where your camera is stationary. Now we come to the 20 megapixel front-facing camera on MiA2. The output is surprisingly good on this phone. I loved how it brings the details and the sharpness. The skin tones appear natural. The output looked a bit oversaturated, but that is subjected to user preference. I like the output to be honest, but the f2.2 aperture doesn't do magic, and that's where the portrait mode comes handy. In portrait mode, the foreground subject identification is on point on most of the occasions. There are places where the complex things like hair strands that might appear not focused, but that can also be seen in some of the high-end flagships since there is no secondary lens to capture the depth info here. When it comes to low light selfies, you can use the flash and the output looks something like this. The ISO is bumped, that may lead to some noise in the photos. Coming to the video quality on the front facing camera of MiA2, here is the footage.
The video is being recorded at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and the audio is being recorded using the internal microphone. The Redmi Note 5 Pro had a auto exposure issue for the front facing camera. Let's see if it has it. This phone also has it. Unless I don't tap on it, it will not expose the area which you want to expose. So this phone doesn't have electronic image stabilization for the front facing camera. So you can see all the shakes that are not being compensated, but if you're not moving too much, this is not going to be too much of an issue. This auto exposure issue is really bad. So let's see how this camera behaves in low lighting situation. So sun has been set, so I thought this is a good time for you shooting this bit, because you'll get an idea how the front facing camera works in low light situations. At the first glance, it doesn't look that impressive, but once the footage will go into the system, then I'll be able to comment on that. So yeah, back to the video.
The output looks good when it comes to good lighting conditions, but the auto exposure issue with the phone is quite annoying. The issue gets worse when you shoot in low light. We have seen it happening in Redmi Note 5 Pro, but that has gotten fixed with the recent update. But overall, the MiA2 seem to have great pair of cameras for the price you're paying. I would say better than the Redmi Note 5 Pro and MiA1. What do you think of the camera output that you have seen so far for the MiA2? Please comment your thoughts below. I'll be comparing its camera with Redmi Note 5 Pro and OnePlus 6 soon, so don't forget to click the bell to get notified whenever these videos go live on my channel. With this, I end this video. This has been Vinit. I'll catch you guys in the next one.